066, 27,000. Skate.
2, thank 2. Live group bullseye, 10067, 25,000 spades.
Hang 1, hostile.
Middle.
North.
Understand, crank north.
Affirmative. Mark that.
Red Flag is, it's literally the world's premier air-to-air combat training exercise.
Box one. Good hit on one.
Here at Nellis Air Force Base, we have some amazing threat simulators, both on the air side and on the ground side, that really puts them in those situations where they really feel like they're fighting that near-peer adversary that they may encounter in future conflict.
Bogies appear to be heading directly at us.
So as an aggressor pilot, our job is to provide the most realistic, relevant threat training aid that we can to our coalition, active duty, and reserve partners. So by getting smart on the threat, knowing what the capabilities are, and kind of being that thinking adversary of here's what we think they may do, and then taking that knowledge and then going to provide it in an airborne forum to give something for our blue forces to react to mission plan against, to go out and execute and see if their tactics, techniques, and procedures are getting the job done. That's what we're about.
So the three primary objectives of Red Flag are integrated leadership, confidence under fire, and warfighter culture. Bringing those three things together really solidifies the training audience and instills in them what it would feel like to actually be in a combat scenario. So the goal of Red Flag overall is to give those young pilots and aviators their experience in their first 10 simulated combat sorties. So that way when they go to their first combat sortie, they feel like they were prepared in this environment, a safe environment, but also a very high stress environment to simulate what it would feel like in actual combat. So the reserves bring a huge amount of continuity, credibility, and experience to the Red Flag organization. Whereas active duty personnel, they're great, but that active duty cycle changes over every 2 to 3 years. So with the reserves being here as a permanent kind of staff, we really augment that active duty force and support them and make sure that exercise continuity is brought forward exercise to exercise.
It's exciting to see our folks who are here for the long haul, many of which left active duty here at Nellis and chose to stay, to continue to be a part of something bigger than themselves, continuing day after day, year after year, to do what they're doing because they love it and they love what it does for our country and what it does for the fight and the capabilities that they bring. And to see them do that and do that well to the point that where our folks are winning accolades within their active duty squadrons. They're getting recognized for the awesome work that they're doing, and they just choose to do it because they love it. It's super fun to see. It's fun to watch folks come in and go, man, I didn't realize you were a reservist. But when we've got folks that are embedded through the squadrons, both in a part-time and a full-time role, they're there day in, day out to see that there's really not that big of a difference between our active duty and reserve partners. It's cool to see.
The kind of war and the kind of Red Flag that was very different than it is now because the technology was so much different. We're talking about 1975. My name is Mark Thibodeau. I flew in Red Flag 01, and I'm commonly known now as Yoda. I was stationed at George Air Force Base in Victorville, California, flying as the backseater, electronic warfare officer in the F-105G Wild Weasel. It was interesting because for us, we were flying on our regular training ranges. The biggest change, well, I flew in the first Red Flag and the first several Red Flags, the way I mentioned, from home station. We had flown against the aggressors prior to the red flag starting, not immediately prior, but on previous occasions. The aggressors were very, very good, and we did not have, you know, the F-105 was a great airplane. It was a real war horse, but it was not designed for the air-to-air fight. I think the other thing that's changed a lot is, and I'm pleased at it, is seeing how much our sister services and our allies have gained from Red Flag. You know, both training and teaching us as well, because there's something to learn from each side.